and they were going to just adopt my grandchildren without letting me know.
Okay, and your question is, how do you stop that, or did you want to ask me something else?
Yeah, how can I stop that?
And I'm joined by my co-host, Aaron Carranza. Aaron, can you hear me? I can see you, but I can't hear you. Anyway, we're going to take our first call.
Can you hear me?
From California. Gloria, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Both, Mr. Davis. I have a story and a question.
Okay.
My grandchildren, I'm a grandparent. I have 3 beautiful grandchildren. And my daughter, from day one to now, hasn't really participated in contacting and talking to them or anything like that. The 3rd grandbaby, my youngest grandbaby, I was told that I have grandparent rights. I could get all 3. Come to find out, the last court date was in August. I come to find out that my 3rd grandbaby, the youngest one, is getting adopted.
Okay.
And then I have 2 older ones that are young. And I was told by the foster mom, but she wasn't really supposed to tell me, that she missed today's date for them being put up for adoption, but they're coming up for adoption next Friday. Now, when I talked to the children's attorney, and I told her my situation, she said, okay, continue to look for a place so you can get your grandchildren. Come to find out, nobody has contacted me, nobody has said nothing, and nobody wasn't going to say anything. And they were going to just adopt my grandchildren without letting me know.
Okay, and your question is, how do you stop that, or did you want to ask me something else?
Yeah, how can I stop that?
Well, you're going to have to file some paperwork to try to stop it with the court. Perhaps some type of motion to delay or stay the adoption while you file a 388 petition to have the children placed with you, while you file a de facto parent motion pursuant to a case called In re Charles S., because you're a relative who has or wants to put in information regarding the children. But did you know that the children were placed in foster care all of this time?
Yes, I did. And I've always talked to the CPS worker and explained my situation to her. And I was understood. I've talked to different people in that type of field, and they said that a social worker can help you find a place, so I can be able to get my grandchildren. And all she did was send me a list of low-income apartments and regular apartments, but it was a 5 to 10 year waiting list, and the other apartments were out of my price range that I couldn't even afford.
Well, Gloria, here's the problem. Those people that were in the field that you talked to, they gave you wrong information, honey.
Okay.
You should have or could have come forward earlier in the case and filed the paperwork that I just told you about having the children placed with you. I have a rule that I repeat on all the different shows that we do. If the social worker doesn't do what you want or what you ask, you have to go to the court. You have to go in front of the judge. And how do you get in front of the judge? You file your 388 petition. You file your de facto motion. You file your presumed parent petition if that's appropriate. you file your JV 285 form to get to let the judge know that you're out there, right? So you have to do all of those things. It's if the adoption hearing or the termination of the parental rights is coming up next Friday, you're way at the tail end and the odds are against you, but I still think that you should try to file something, even with the odds being against you. You have nothing to lose. Interesting thing about these cases, things are always changing. They're very dynamic. Sometimes something happens, the adoption doesn't go through, or they change their mind and they don't do the termination of the parental rights on the day it was supposed to happen. A lot of things happen. So you should file just in case there's any possibility that you might be able to get the kids placed with you. How many grandchildren are we talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the two oldest ones, because the third one is already in process of being adopted. So I'm just mainly concerned about the two oldest ones.
And how old are they?
8 and 5.
Oh, they're young. When they turn 12, they actually can stop an adoption by saying, they don't want to be adopted or don't want their parental rights terminated, their parents' rights terminated, but they're still very young. And, a lot of cases that I've done, in the past couple of years, and it seems to swing, the pendulum swings back and forth. A lot of judges are saying, well, if the children have been in the foster home for all of this time, they've developed an emotional bond, a physical bond, a psychological bond with the foster parents, and it would be detrimental to now give them to grandma, who has come forth to court late. See, the problem is when you first told the social worker what you wanted, she didn't tell you, ma'am, you need to file something, Gloria, you need to go to court and talk to the judge. She didn't tell you that. So you were kind of lulled into a false sense of security, thinking, well, I'm the grandma, I can, wait and wait and wait, and I still have time. That's not true. That's not true at all. I mean, the odds are that if you filed something, and even if the judge considered it, the judge might rule that, the kids have such a bond with the foster parents that it would be detrimental to move them. I don't know, but I've seen that, that happen in a few cases in the last year that I've been on personally. I get relatives that call me at the last minute, and, it's always, well, where have you been?
2 minutes.
And a lot of relatives, unfortunately, don't even know that there is a case with CPS going on. CPS has the burden of doing an investigation and finding relatives. And if I had $1 for every case where they didn't do that, where they're supposed to, I'd be a multimillionaire.
Right, but Mr. Davis, the thing, not to cut you off, sir, the thing is, I've been in this from day one to now. It's not like this is late. I'm just, what you just told me about filing the paper, yes, I'm late in doing that. Yeah. But I've been...
Right, you told the social worker from the beginning, but guess what? She didn't tell the judge.
Oh, geez. Okay.
And what I tell people all the time, if the social worker's not doing what you ask, file your paperwork, file your motions to get in front of the judge ASAP. Hey, Gloria, I want to thank you for calling and thank you for listening. We have to move into our first break right now. This is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win, and we'll be right back after these messages.